Now we're preparing the Chos and Tans of the Rakusu. So you can see here that there's Cho Tan, Cho Tan, Cho Tan, Cho Tan, Cho Tan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different rows alternating. And here, as we start in the middle, just as a bit of information, as we move this way, we're kind of falling down the terrace of fabric. It's not important to know this right now, but basically this piece of fabric right here is higher than this piece of fabric. So this section is higher, this one is underneath, and then this one is underneath the prior one. Same as on this side. So this one is higher, this one's lower, and then this one's lower than the last, lower than this one. And same thing here, this piece of fabric is sitting on top of this one's on top of this one is on top of this one on top of this one on top of this one. So it's falling down and then kind of falling off on each direction, left and right. So 5 Chos and Tans, and we have that fabric cut out here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these will end up fitting interchangeably. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 when we put them all together. And in terms of the measurements, we have a Cho here. This gives me the Tan, which is the shorter one. So here's the short, and then the short one, the Tan. You can see that's shorter than the Cho. And then the Tan is on the back side, starting right here, going down. So you can see the edge of it right here. And so it's this section right here. So the length of that is 5 5/8 right there. In the upper left, 5 5/8 right here. And then the width of that Cho right here is, you can see it on the screen, 3 3/4 wide. You can see that 3 3/4 wide for that Cho. And then for the Tans, again, those are the smaller sections here, and that would be 3 3/8, 3 3/8 right here, and then 3 1/4 wide. So 3 1/4 wide for that Tan. And the measurements for these sewing lines, what we've marked out to sew, are similar, are indicated in the instructions. So we have just to the top line here, 1/4 inch. We can see 1/4 inch and then 3/4 right here, 3/4 right here for the tan, so 1/4 and 3/4. We have that here, 1/4 at the very top, and 3/4 just down a little bit. We're pinning these with the line of the Cho here, also a 1/4 inch, this pre-marked line here is a 1/4 inch down as well, and that's this 1/4 inch line there. And the way we're pinning that is the tan on one side and the Cho on the other, and then this line will be pinned. This line will have to line up with the lower line on the Cho. So as we flip sides here, that line will meet up exactly with that line. So make sure that's pinned. You can put in more pins than this if you'd like to keep it aligned, but that's right where the pin goes in, where it meets the Cho on the other side. And then we'll be sewing down this line here. I've already started that line. So you do a knot on the near side here. Doesn't have to be hidden because there'll be another piece connected there. And then do your stitch and continue on. If you run out of thread halfway, you've got to put new thread in, you'll want to hide your knot and then continue on, because this back stitch will be visible on the, or you want to keep that clean basically if you can. And then these are all connected, the 3 of them. You could do them individually cut, but here we have it set up where we actually end our line right here. So I'll end the stitching right at that end, that X right here, and then put a knot on the other side. And then you can actually just use the same thread, knotting on this side underneath, and then continuing on. So we have knots. Make sure to put those knots in there, because this actually will be cut later, so that thread will be cut. We want the knots to hold on all these X's here on either side. So it's a way that you can move along with your stitch from the beginning to the end. And then the 2 other sections that we saw a little bit earlier, and we still have those same dimensions for the lines at a 1/4 inch, and then 3/4 inch for these alternating tans. And right here, width, we have again 3 3/4 from here to here. That's again right there, and from top to bottom So the width is 3 3/4 and the height is 5 5/8. So again here, 3 3/4 wide, 5 5/8 tall. And again, that's the longer Cho. And then the shorter Tan is 3 3/8 right here, and then 3 3/4 wide from here to here. And then on the pinning on this one, again, we'll want to have the line that we've marked 1/4 inch down line up front to back with this second line. So this line is in line with that one, and then we put the pins in right at that spot to lock those in, and then continue to sew, and then make sure to knot if you're doing this method where you are using one full sheet here, knot here and here on the back side, here and here on the back side. And just to reiterate this, as we look at the pieces here, what we're looking at is the top of the Rakusu. So your stitch will want to be on this side, your visible stitch, and then that will be on the back. So you see all the lines here are indicating the tops